Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. Last week, we started a sort of a new concept of 15 minutes of real intention. And somehow, my feelings inside of me is to continue the journey. Not because I want to, not because we have other things to do, not because of just economy, but just the feeling that we hear so much that sometimes we lose the essence of the experience, where to get the experience. Today's focus was asked for me to share by Sister Divya on the road forward, how to find the courage to move away from our past. And it is a huge one. None of us are perfect in our choices. Many of us have perhaps made decisions that at the heat of the moment it seemed right, but then later on, as everything settles down, we sit and wonder to ourselves, why did I do that? What was happening in me? Sometimes the way our energy emerges in our life, it's a portal. We wouldn't see it any other way. I'll give you an example. Have you ever told your child, or maybe your 2 or 3-year-old, don't touch that, put that down, and they're still doing it? And then when you yelled at them, don't touch it, put it down, then they listened? How many of you have spoken to people with a lot of respect and very peacefully and very lovingly, and they're just not hearing you? And then when you really turn up the volume and the fire behind your words, then they listen, then they pay attention. So in the same way, energy works inside of us. Somehow it is taking us in directions that perhaps we always wanted to go but didn't have the courage to go. Example, if you wanted to give your life to God, but you don't have the courage. I've got a husband, I've got kids, I've got work, I've got my in-laws, I have 2 weddings to go to, I've got bills to pay and all of this. And you wanted to give yourself to God. You wanted to be in another state of consciousness. But you just couldn't do it. There was nothing that triggered you to do it. You were like a little bit at a time. You do a little bit of God's work here. You do most of your work here. You do a little bit of that. But you never found the courage to do it. There's another sister that I've known for many, many years, and I've seen her grow and do her thing and develop her life. And a few years ago, she just felt there's just a need for a change. There's a desire for her whole family to become more spiritual and to find a more loving pathway to existing. And after 30 years of her marriage, she just felt like, I just can't. It's just, I want everybody to come to God and to be happy. She made a decision to pick up and just go on her own. And she's a much better person, I must say. But sometimes when all of this energy in us, that energy that wells up in you, whether it was attraction, whether it was money, whether it was an opportunity, whether it was some kind of an event, that it says, go there, despite everything that you have been used to. And you go, and then the heat of the moment, everything starts to settle down, and you start to see yourself, and you ask, why did I do that? Could I have balanced it better? Could I have done better? Should I have stayed? What kind of a person would do this? And you can ask a million questions. It just stays in your head, and it gets built up as more confusion. And as it gets built up in your consciousness with more confusion, you start to become numb, afraid of actually seeing what has transpired. So how do we find the courage to move forward when our past seems to still be alive and it keeps pulling at you to say, I need this, you should do this, you should suffer, or you shouldn't be happy, or give me that. Or your past is all this accumulation of karma. And karmas have debt and profit in it. It's inside of the soul, as an energy of the soul. And what happens when we don't have the courage to face our past is that we might be stuck on the choice that I made or the event that occurred. And we only think of that area only. How could I have done that? Why would I do that? I must be the worst person in the world. Or, why did they do that to me? They should have never done that. They are the worst people in the world. And your thought process gets focused on only this little bit of your whole life. And it takes away your courage to look at the larger picture. It does. And so when you go inside of yourself and you begin to feel bad about yourself, that is your ego and your attachment, because the scene is done. It's over. And now the courage to rise up from that is on your head. Courage is an act of the heart where there's love inside of you, to face situations that you cannot change. It's fixed to have occurred. So I was telling this person about courage that you can't face people until first you can face yourself. So a step I would invite you to take, if you are struggling to face your past, to find the courage within you to rise above a choice that was made, an event that happened to you, or what the destiny has fixed for you to endure, write a letter of courage to yourself, to look at yourself at a deep level. Look at everything about you that you know. Whatever you've come to understand or see about yourself, the things you love, the things you hate about yourself. Look at it. Write that letter to self. And after you've written that letter to the self, put it aside for a few minutes. Get a glass of water, get a cup of coffee, get juice, go for a walk. Then come back and sit mindfully. If you have a prayer corner, if you have a sacred part in your room or your favorite chair, then pick up the letter and read it. And as you're reading it, observe everything that's either pinching you or releasing you. Wherever you feel a pinch, put an X mark. Wherever you feel a release, put a check mark. As you're reading it, when you're finished reading the letter, go back to your X's, look at it, and just say, what does love want me to do in this situation? Just ask, what does love want me to do in this situation? What would it tell me to do? Right next to it, what love says. And you will find your solution to your X. And as you look at all your checks, good, this is good, this is good, this is good. You keep building up this inner courage, this inner strength, that when you are ready to face the person, the people, the boss, the situation, the circumstance, you won't go there feeling vulnerable, but you will go there feeling clear that you have done the work on yourself first. That's why you have the courage to face them. All right, let's take a few moments of contemplation. Turn your attention inwards to serve the virtue of courage within you. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn your attention behind your eye into you, the soul. sparkling energy, subtle consciousness on a journey throughout time. I don't remember everything I have done to souls in my previous lives. And I don't remember everything souls have done to me in my previous life. But at present, here are my feelings. And these feelings need love in order to heal. If I'm not feeling safe, kind, strong, happy, mature, then I know that I need to give these feelings love. Love is an acceptance. Because the irony about God, when God looks at me, He never judges me for the part that I am playing in this drama. God knows that the drama has preordained my role, the things that I will say and the things that I will do. And so He keeps giving love. What I need to do is to take love from God to create self-acceptance and to liberate myself from the past so I can keep moving forward. I invite you to sit in this moment. Hold that experience for yourself. Om Shanti. So my friends out there, I invite you to pick yourself up, move forward, cultivate the courage to let go of whatever was preordained for you to go through. Take love from God. Clean up your world inside. If God can forgive you and love you no matter what you've done, you could certainly do that for yourself. Do not allow the game of anger, ego, attachment, impurities to keep you down. We're playing our parts out. Celebrate that you have a role to play. Here is the Sister Gita effect. Enjoy her words of wisdom. I'll see you tomorrow.
If there's not love and mutual respect in relationship, they take you down. And in order to come up, make that relationship with Divine, the Supreme, so that your relationships can improve. The experience of God's love restores faith in God. It's entitled Love is Forever. So, the experience of God's love restores faith in God. However, for this faith to be powerful, it needs to be based not just on feelings and experience, but also on a clear understanding of the true nature of the self, God, and life. This makes the soul worthy and powerful. God gives us such deep, powerful love that this love becomes eternal. It is never destroyed. It can never be reduced. Our love should remain eternal based on this understanding.